guys, welcome back to the REVan channel. We've left Detroit and we are now in Indianapolis, Indiana. As you can see behind me, the infamous Yo Ken, my partner in crime from Muscle Mustangs and Fast Fords magazine. He's fueling up his stocker. There's a ton of Fords, there's a ton of Mopars, all the good stuff. Today is stock, super stock class eliminations. Things are gonna get crazy here. I'm gonna try to post some videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's going to be a fun week. We got to wish Kenny luck. He's got some heads-up runs today. He's going for that NHRA Wally. So let's get to the action. All right, Kenny, so you're running AA this weekend, the fastest stock eliminator class.
Yeah, we're looking to run like some high 830s, which would be like 102 under, 105 under, somewhere in that neighborhood. We got it stepped up. We're going to let it all eat this run. I haven't even stepped this up anywhere, any place, since I've had this new motor. I have not had this much power in the car, you know, as far as timing goes. So we don't know what it's going to do. The air is really, really good.
All right, Kenny, you've run FSA before, but here you're in AA. It's a quicker class. How come you switched?
Well, the index is tough, but there's a buddy of mine, Tony, who's got a COPO, and there's nothing better than having a Ford running a Chevy. So we have a Cobra Jet against the COPO. He's 200-300s away from me. We're like, it all depends on our tune-up, and we're both going for it, so it should be a great class runoff. So it's cool. That's basically why I'm in AA here. I just, you know, A would be easier to qualify, but I want to run him.
You want the heads-up run?
I want that heads-up run, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm a little nervous. I love it. I've been doing this for 40 years, and I'm a little nervous. I love it. If I wasn't nervous, I wouldn't be doing it.
Mixing up the special sauce?
No, this is nothing special, man. This is just expensive. $130 for that 5-gallon. Can't put a price on fun.
Nope. All right, you got a heads-up run today for the trophy.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Mr. Tony Fagnelli. This is a little bit sloppy, but there we go.
There you go. You're wasting that like $20 a gallon fuel.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm on camera, so you know I mess up. Usually it's like 1, 2, 3, no problem.
All right, Kenny, great start to the US Nationals, running in the deep eights, and right behind you is that coveted Wally.
Yeah. Oh, it was a good run. It was a friend of mine, Tony Fagnelli, runs a COPO, and we're good friends, and we're always within 300 or 400 of each other. We both tuned it up. We didn't know what the track would hold, and I came out on top, a little better on the tree, a little better ET, 836 to a 839, and 162 miles an hour was a good race. It was just you earned it. That's what I liked about it. You earned it. Earning a race is what, you know. It's just like you don't have the guy covered by 3-4 tenths. It's anybody's race. If the tuner's right, you hit the tree. It was good. It was a lot of fun. Indy is important because you get to see all the cars from all over the country. So cars you don't get to see in your normal division. So, and then it's the US Nationals. Let's see, I've been here. I've been racing for roughly been 34 years, and I've been here 30 times. So it's important to me to be out here, you know, and it helps with Class Racer, you know, and so you know I do the live rums, and that's really big. That's really big. So it's Indy. You don't really have to say anything. It's just Indy.
So Kenny, people know you as Yo Ken, and
yeah.
Before that, Miele, because you had your 68 and then 67 Mustang.
Yeah,
that you've won national events with.
Right.
But this has been your fastest ride.
Oh yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about this 08 Mustang.
All right. Well, you know, I don't really remember the exact year, but it was probably about 5 years ago. Anthony Bongiovanni from MicroStrategies. As you guys can see, it's sponsored by MicroStrategies. Without Anthony, I probably wouldn't be running this fast car like this. He needed a driver. He said, I want all my cars out at one race. He said, I'm going to put you in one of the cars. This is Anthony's first car, and I got in the car, and it was like, I got to have this car. I mean, it was just so fast, so cool. When you put it in high gear, nothing like the Shelby. The Shelby was fun, it had a lot of character, but this car is just way more fun. When you put this in high gear, it's just, you know, sometimes it moves around because it has a 9-inch tire, but it's a lot of fun. So basically, I bought it off of Anthony back in 2016, and the Shelby, well, it moved on. Okay, so I'm in AA, so that's the fastest stock limited class there is. It's an FSAA. It runs a 5.4 supercharged, and the guys in stock are familiar with it, but fans may not be. It's basically the same motor that would come in an 08 Shelby, and yet we get to run an upgraded blower, but we're penalized with more weight. But and it makes roughly about 1150 horsepower, 1100 to 1150 horsepower. No, the lift can't be no more than at the factory. The factory lifts like 413 thousandths, so you can't go higher than the lift. You can change the duration, but you can't change the lift. You cannot port the heads. You cannot port the intake. You cannot change the throttle body size. And this runs a 63 millimeter throttle body. You cannot change the pulley. The pulley's a 2.91. You can't. So stuff that you can really pick up on horsepower on these things is the pulley and the throttle body, and that has the way they come from the factory. These were turnkey race cars, and they have specific rules, so it's very strict. Tires, 9-inch tire. So that makes this car, because what can it run? The best run on this car has been 826 at 167, and it can get a little dicey on certain tracks because of the 9-inch tire.
So Kenny, who does the motor, and then who does the tuning?
Well, Jim D'Amore, he does the motor, and wait for the car to go by. JDM does the motor. It's Jim D'Amore. He's out of Freehold, New Jersey. He does the motor's completely done by him. The tuning, there was a base tune, but I just tune it myself. I do my own tuning. I know what the car likes. I know what it doesn't like. Like right now, we just won class, so now I'm back into bracket mode, so I have to detune it, but because we want to be able to get down the track, because you never know. But yeah, so those are the JDM really knows his stuff. This motor, I'm going on my 3rd season, and I haven't even pulled the valve cover off. It's super dependable. If you don't beat them up, it's dependable, and so and I don't beat mine up.
What about the rear suspension and the rest of the car?
Well, the rear suspension is a factory setup. It's the way Ford built them. It has an anti-roll bar. It also has it's a three-link setup, which is adjustable at the top but non-adjustable at the bottom. The bottom 2 links are non-adjustable. That's per NHRA rules, but it works really well. Best 60 foot on this car has been 119. So the car works really well. It's built by B&B. All right, guys. So I'm going to show you what the run is. It's pretty simple. There's some videos. I'm sure Evan will have some videos. But basically, what we do, we get it going. We have your panel up here. So this would turn it on. You got your fuel on. You got your water pump, and then you have your intercooler. I'll show you what I do that in a minute. Can you guys? All right, I don't know if you guys can pick it up, but whatever. So this is basically it started up, roll into the burnout. I'm in neutral, but I put it into second when I go into the burnout because I do a second to high gear change. So I'm in the burnout. This is my line lock button. Pump it up a bunch of times, get it to about 1,000 pounds of pressure. We have a pressure gauge, a brake pressure gauge. Do the burnout about 6,000. I don't do long burnouts. I do short burnouts. Just hit the gas, high gear, let it go, let the button go. Just kind of. I like to stop early. Some guys like to drive. If you guys have noticed, some guys will drive right to the starting line. I like to make sure the car is straight. It's critical to have these cars straight because it's no joke. Whatever way you point it, it's going. And some guys don't roll out of throttle. I roll out of throttle if it gets crooked. So here I'm in. So now I'm in high gear. I put it into neutral. Kind of just move around, make sure everything's working. I did forget one thing, folks. Just before the burnout, you got to put your intercooler on because that's critical. If your intercooler's not on, you're going to hurt the motor. So that's the last button, well, the second to the last button. I put the intercooler on. All right, so now I'm in. I get staged. I just get it staged. I bring it up. I don't use a 2-step, so I bring it up to about 2,800 RPM, and then I just bump it in. You'll just see a lot of guys with nose will just bump it in, and then we're staged. Just wait for the tree to come down. I don't look at the tack anymore. I'm just looking at the tree, and I'll just go through the motions. Boom, tack hits, the shift light comes on. That's it. and the run's pretty much over, and hopefully it's going straight. I'm on the brakes. I don't use the chute. The chute handle is over here. I don't use that unless, you know, I'm really set up fast, and you just slow down, and that's the run, and it's just a blast. I don't put it into neutral. I use the car to slow the engine to slow the car down, and it's you know, everything goes really fast, and it's muscle memory. When you race, it's not, you don't even think about what you're doing. The only thing you're worried about is trying to cut a light and trying to remember where you left, so you can make sure you're fine-tuned. But as far as everything I do here, it's just muscle memory. You just do it. You've been doing this for so long. So, and I love this shifter because you just don't think about it. I'll do it again. It's just like bang, bang. You know, so you don't even have to think about it. So it's a fun ride. It really is.
So in a race like yesterday against that COPO, what are the emotions like on the starting line? You had them covered a little in qualifying, but you still got to get the job done. Did you do anything different driving the car to make it quicker?
Yeah, well, we did step it up. The intercooler can hold a lot of ice. Normally when I'm racing, when it's just in the bracket mode, when you're just putting a dial in, I just put, like, you know, a 7-pound bag of ice in. Well, this one I'll just stuff as much ice. I'll take all the water out except for maybe an inch or two. I'll stuff all the ice in it and make that thing just as cool as can be. A lot of time, what I'll do is after I warm up the car, I'll put a little ice, a little cold water, run it through the intercooler again, so it won't melt the ice. So the ice in the intercooler is critical to go fast. You know, also I changed the timing. I add more timing, and I was a little nervous running Tony. Tony's a good friend of mine, and we're pretty close, and it's all about the tune-up and what the track can handle. Sometimes you go to a track with the power these cars make, you're going to spin the tires. But this one I went for broke. Full timing down the track. I didn't ramp the timing in, and I was a little nervous, but I said, you know, Tony's been driving good, and I just went for the tree. I was pretty good on the tree. I was a 13, but I just went for it. And also RPM from first to second is about 72, always shift there, but if you want a little bit more power, about 2 to 300s, I like to hang out from second to high to about 700, 800. Normally I shift 72, 72 when I'm just in like a bracket mode, when I'm in bracket racing part. But that's about it. You just keep the car as cool as possible, and just like any stocker, anything you do, you know, you got to have cool, dense air. That makes it fast. Going through the traps like I was going through at 8,000. And in the track, Indy's not a fast track, and if I was at a sea-level track, that run that was an 8:36 probably would have been an 8:15 or an 8:10, and it would have been about 168, and it would probably have gone through about 81, 82. So we run a 410 gear, so we don't run a lot of gear in this car. We don't run a lot of gear in the Trans either. It's all about horsepower. This thing makes 800 pounds of torque at about 5,000 RPM. This is why I come to Indy. A class trophy at Indy is almost like winning the regular eliminator. This is why you're here, especially when your car is competitive and it's really close race. It's all about driving and tuning, but this is it. Indy is the race you want to be. You want to win class. I wish I could say I win class every year here, but I don't. So when I win class, it's extremely, it's real special. So Indy's a special race. It's the Super Bowl of drag racing. You want to do good. You're always nervous. I've been doing this for so long. I've been racing for 40 years, and I still get butterflies when I come to Indy. You can't beat it, and it's just a great time. I'm just having a great time. Life is good. I'm blessed. That's all I can say. Indy is the best.